Welcome to your Saga Oasis. The famous American author Karen Horney once said that inner conflicts spread through the personality like a harmful tumor and will eventually destroy a person. So, what is happening inside us? What are these inner conflicts? Inner conflict occurs when a person feels a disagreement between two thoughts, desires, or personal values within themselves. Our hearts are filled with these conflicts before making a decision. Whether big or small, we often hear many different voices in our heads. We have to choose between pursuing a dream career or fulfilling family responsibilities and handling social pressures. When we face an opportunity that benefits us but could harm others, we struggle between doing what's right and seeking personal gain. Sometimes, it's painful to realize we are drifting away from our original values and becoming someone we dislike. Why can we be polite to strangers but lose our temper with loved ones? And why do some people refuse help, even when they desperately need it? In her book, Our Inner Conflicts, the famous American psychologist Karen Horney wrote that the world is full of conflicts, and within ourselves, countless inner struggles exist. Depending on our values and personality needs, we choose different ways to face them. However, instead of solving the real issues, many people sink deeper into anxiety and suffering. There are many people and books that teach us how to overcome suffering and live happily. But in the end, we still ask, what is the root cause of unhappiness in a person? Is there an invisible imprisonment of the soul? Can we overcome it, break free from it, and live a truly light, peaceful, joyful, and free life? So, how can we do it? You feel troubled because you haven't explored the inner conflicts within yourself. Humans differ from animals in that animal behavior is determined by instinct, while humans have the freedom to choose and make decisions. This is both a privilege and a burden, because with every choice, we face many competing desires within us. These desires can be completely opposing opinions. For example, wanting to have boy or girlfriend, but feeling shy about talking to the opposite sex. Wanting to change jobs, but fearing financial instability. Wanting to express emotions, but fearing getting hurt. Wanting to travel and explore the world, but fearing leaving family and loved ones, and so on. We must accept that conflict is an integral part of life. However, when faced with these conflicts, what do we usually do? Most people are unaware of their psychological struggles and cannot resolve them by making clear choices. Instead, we often go with the flow, compromising with ourselves without realizing it. In neurotic disorders, conflict plays a much larger role than people think because it is not easily detected, and people always try to deny its existence. As a result, symptoms such as anxiety, indecision, fear, and depression often occur in people. The famous psychiatrist Adler had a well-known thesis that all human troubles stem from interpersonal relationships, and author Horney also agreed with this view. All our inner conflicts arise from relationships between people. So, what should we do now that all our troubles originate from social relationships? Should we choose to live alone? Not at all. Being alone doesn't mean eliminating all social relationships. People who think about avoiding relationships are those who are trying to escape difficulties rather than facing the problem. Although conflict greatly affects us, don't worry. Conflict is a normal state. 4 ways to identify your inner conflicts and make clear decisions. 1. Be clear about your desires and emotions. For example, when you're hesitating to continue a relationship, ask yourself if you truly like that person. Or do you simply enjoy the feeling of being loved or the state of having someone by your side? You want to become an entrepreneur, but are uncertain about your passion for business. Ask yourself, do you genuinely have a passion for business, and are you willing to endure the long and challenging journey to build a successful enterprise? Or do you just think that being an entrepreneur will bring high income and social status? You might wish not to marry, desiring an independent and free life, but are you worried about being lonely, not having anyone to care for you in old age, and facing family opposition and societal prejudice? Before making any choice, ask yourself similar questions to reflect on yourself and recognize your inner conflicts. Some say that life is a series of choices. Choose a few things correctly, and you will succeed. Choose 3 things wrong in a row, and you will encounter bad luck. Life is full of choices, but the important thing is whether the choice is right or not. And that depends on whether you truly want it from the bottom of your heart. Once you've made a decision, believe that it is the right thing and aligns with your deepest desires at that moment. 2. Establish your own value system. We need to understand that inner conflict largely relates to each person's moral values and beliefs. Therefore, to understand and resolve inner conflicts without hurting ourselves, we need to establish our own value system. This value system should originate from within us and should not be influenced by others. Without building this value system, our beliefs will lack a solid foundation and can be easily shaken. For example, a person cheating on his wife might struggle between continuing the affair or stopping it. Without his own value system, he won't be able to establish a clear stance on marriage and family responsibilities. He might be easily influenced by friends and the immoral behavior shown in movies and books. As a result, he may see his cheating action as normal and continue the affair. Or a working mom might struggle between keeping her current job with a lower income, but enough time to care for her 2 children, or taking a new job with a higher salary, but sacrificing family time. If her values and beliefs prioritize being present and caring for her children, she might temporarily choose not to change jobs. 3. Have the courage to let go. Even when we recognize inner conflicts, we must stay clear-headed and have the courage to choose one thing and let go of the other. You need to understand that your inner turmoil often comes from a lack of security and greedy mind. Perfect things are very rare in this world. When you can't have both, only by bravely letting go can you resolve the conflict and gain what is truly important and meaningful to you. For example, Sarah has a capable husband who works well, earns a good income, loves their children, is responsible to both families, and helps with housework. However, since they came together through an arranged marriage, they have no feelings for each other. Over the years, their feelings not only didn't develop, but they also realized their values were very different. The times they talked, shared, or were close became fewer and fewer. They lived together only out of responsibility to the family and their children. Many years passed, and Sarah's children turned 18 and left home to find their own lives. Sarah longed to escape the suffocating and boring life to seek true love. Despite regretting the seemingly peaceful marriage with material comfort and a kind partner, she bravely let go to allow herself to experience more positive emotions. 4. Be willing to take risks and take responsibility for your decisions. The final point is that you need not only the courage to explore and correctly resolve your inner conflicts, but also the ability to accept risks and take responsibility for your decisions, bearing the corresponding consequences. You shouldn't let yourself fall into a situation where you've chosen something and then feel regretful, tormented, and miserable for the rest of your life. Truly, having the inner strength to take responsibility for your actions is something many people lack. For example, like Sarah mentioned above, even though she will go through a period of suffering and loneliness after the divorce, with no one to help her with housework, drive her around every day, or share the financial burden of life, she still bravely accepts the risks and takes responsibility for her decision by working harder, learning to drive, and taking care of the house and cooking. She knows that without the courage to take risks and face the consequences, she will not be able to move forward in life and will never find true happiness. Recognizing that we are experiencing inner conflicts can make us feel uncomfortable and painful, but only by daring to face them and finding solutions can we avoid being easily influenced by the outside world and truly steer the course of our own lives. Ultimately, life has only one important matter: to live authentically as ourselves. You know, philosophers throughout the ages have emphasized the importance of being oneself and the despair we feel when we can't do so. You don't need to wear an emotional mask, please others, take advantage of, or compete with anyone. Be yourself and make wise decisions for yourself. May we all become our true selves, face the deep conflicts within our inner selves directly, resolve them, and live a life full of joy, freedom, and genuine sincerity. It's the end of the video. Thank you for joining us today. And don't miss out on more videos from us by subscribing and turning on the notification bell icon.